This video is brought to you by Grandeur Warranty, your #1 online source for factory-backed extended warranties in the country. There have been some bad news in the truck industry lately, but I have some good news in this video because, Kase, we are on the hunt for the best deals and we found some great ones.
That's right, and we have a couple ground rules for our search for these cheap trucks.
First of all, we are in Colorado, in the Denver area, so we're not gonna go anywhere else. We're gonna visit several brand new dealerships, and we're gonna find you, well, first of all, four-wheel drive trucks, right? No two-wheel drives.
It's gotta be four-wheel drive because it's winter time here in Colorado.
Exactly, and if you have a two-wheel drive truck, it might as well be a car.
You're gonna pay a lot for tows.
But we'll show you Toyota. Obviously, we're here at Mountain States right now, which is a dealership near us. And we'll also show you several others, including, of course, GM, Ford, Jeep, and the rest. So, dude, how about we start right here with a brand new 2025 Tacoma?
If we're not mistaken, this should be the least expensive truck on the lot, isn't it, Andre?
Basically, yes, because, well, Toyota doesn't make any small compact pickups, right? This is a mid-sized truck. It's four-wheel drive. It's got a full double cab. They call it double cab, but it's basically a crew cab. And it's an SR5. They don't have an SR on the lot quite yet, which is kind of a work truck. So this is a little bit more kind of a step up. But let's show the interior and the price.
Yeah, so it is a pretty basic setup. You can see we've got a smaller screen here in the center of the dash, although still pretty high resolution, pretty modern screen. Still a lot of features that you get even on this SR5.
Exactly, but the climate control is pretty simple. You're still getting, that turbocharged engine, full power, so this is not kind of a work truck version of that.
Yeah, so the base SR actually has a lower power output, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly, but this doesn't. This 2.4 liter turbo charged four-cylinder, 278 horsepower, 317 pound-feet of torque, and an 8-speed automatic, four-wheel drive. It has some tow haul mode right here, the four-wheel drive controller, but we have basically no options.
A lot of blank switches. We've got cloth seats, Andre. Still pretty comfortable.
Yes, and no trailer brake controller, right?
Yeah.
If we had one, it would be in this area right here. But are you ready for this?
Let's hear it.
So MSRP here is $42,545, but we're working with our buddy Hunter here at the dealership, and he said that right now there's a deal, $40,424. And this is kind of early in the year. This is like beginning of February, right, in 2025. So this price will not be guaranteed, for the rest of the year, right? But just this month or this day, just a little bit over $40K, you can get yourself a four-door, four-wheel drive Toyota pickup.
Yeah, and of course those deals are going to change wherever you are in the country, what dealership that you're going to, but that's what they've got here at Mountain States right now. Now I gotta say, in general, for the MSRP being over $40,000, Andre, what do you think of this SR5?
Well, I mean, this is a typical interior, right? So if you're expecting heated seats, you're not going to get it. If you're expecting heated steering wheel in this model, you're not going to get it. A bigger screen, you're not going to get it. Rear locking differential, no. Like we said, you're not getting certain things, but if you're interested in a basic, capable pickup truck, I think this is the way to go.
Well, and I think it's worth bringing up the fact that trucks in general are getting more expensive. That's something that we've all taken note of over the last several years. Trucks, if we're going to play devil's advocate, are also, though, having more features, more capability. I mean, we still have an 8-speed transmission here. We've got almost 300 horsepower.
And alloy wheels, right? These are not steelies.
Yeah, and
right?
That interior, while basic compared to higher trim levels, still has some nice features compared to trucks of 5-10 years ago. So they are getting pricier.
But wait, there is more good news, okay? So right here is a 2024 Toyota Tundra, brand new, and we're in this period where the model year change is happening, right? There's many 2025s on the lot, but sometimes you can get that great deal if you're finding a vehicle that's been at the dealership maybe a little bit longer than some others.
Exactly. So this is an example of that. It is a Tundra SR5. So like the Tacoma, it's a more basic model. And from what they tell us, it seems that these typically hang around the lot maybe a little bit longer because people get in, they see some of the features that they could have on a higher trim level, and that's what a lot of people end up going for.
Yeah, for example, maybe they need more capability, off-road tires, maybe they're looking for a TRD Pro, maybe they want a sunroof. There's many different reasons customers kind of step up to other trucks, right? But you can get great deals. Let's jump in this one.
Yeah, and to my surprise, the price that you could pick up this Tundra for here at Mountain States is actually not much more than that Tacoma.
No, but before we show you the price on this particular one, show the interior a little bit more. First of all, a lot more room, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know if you could see behind me, but there's a ton of leg room here. So if you're a bigger person, or maybe like I'm pretty tall, or if you have a family, I would look at this immediately over the Tacoma because it's just more spacious, it's wider, it's longer, it's bigger, it has more power.
Absolutely, quite a bit more power.
But look, the screen is very similar, right? The climate control, even though the buttons are different, you still kind of have basic climate control, no heated seats, no heated steering wheel in this more basic model.
Yeah.
But you have, pretty neat storage.
We've also got a trailer brake controller, Andre.
Yes, because this tows way more than the Tacoma. A built-in trailer brake controller. I love seeing this. But are you ready for this?
Let's hear it.
So I'll cover this with my finger. The MSRP was $52,579.
Right.
But Hunter surprised us. $44,791. That's a pretty huge incentive to buy a brand new truck, basically.
It is. That's quite a bit under the MSRP.
Yeah.
And yeah, not way more than that Tacoma SR5. It's definitely almost $5,000 more. So
about
it's
10% more.
10% more, but we're getting quite a bit more capability.
Exactly, and you are getting a twin turbo V6. By the way, we recently did a story about where trucks are built and how American trucks are. And the Tacoma is built, they have two Mexico plants for the Tacoma. The Tundra is built in Texas, and it has a little bit more American parts. And a twin turbo V6 with a lot more power and more towing capability.
Exactly. So for a lot of people, it could be a better option.
But what happens if you want other features or different trim levels?
Well, it's actually easier to find some of the other truck trims like this TRD Off-Road, like the Limited, and like the TRD Sport. And then if you look behind us, there's a whole sea of some white TRD Sports as well as some other models, and even a whole other row of silver ones behind it. There's tons and tons of trucks here in the lot.
Yeah, and that's kind of demonstrates some of the most popular colors, right? So we saw gray, there's a little of white. There's also iForce Max, which is the hybrid.
Yeah, and
it's right here.
This one being a hybrid has got an MSRP on the sticker at 53 there. So you can see when you start to pick some more options, the TRD Sport is a cool spec. This is a little bit more of, I would say, a street-styled truck versus like a TRD Off-Road. But as you start to pick some more options, get into the hybrid powertrains, have some more features, then that price can go up quite a bit.
I think this is a TRD Off-Road hybrid as well. So you have all those choices. And when you get the hybrid, you get a lot more power. Maybe not huge increase in efficiency, but you're getting over 326 horsepower in one of these puppies.
Exactly. So these hybrid trucks are actually pretty quick. And yeah, you'll maybe see a couple more MPG, especially in the city.
And there's some more trucks way over there. There's a lot of choice.
Yeah, tons of trucks. It's, again, easier to find some of these models that have a few more features than it is to find the really inexpensive trucks like the SR5s that we were looking at.
We're showing you a lot of different manufacturers and pickup trucks today, and many of them have different warranties from the factory. But if you want to actually buy a truck and own it for a long period of time. You could also get it covered with a factory-backed extended warranty from GrangerWarranty.com. Use the link in the description below, check them out. You don't have to buy it initially either, so you can buy a brand new truck and then a little bit, maybe a few months down the road, maybe you decide to get it. You could go to GrangerWarranty.com, put in your vehicle information and see all of your options. You could save about $1,000 compared to others. And you can cover your powertrains, your tech, a lot of the features. But dude, what do you say we look at some Chevrolets?
Yeah, specifically ones that don't have a lot of features, like this 1500 single cab, about as basic as it gets, Andre.
Exactly, so we're on the hunt, right, for the most affordable ones. So this Duramax powered AT4 is probably not in our budget, right?
No. Yeah.
So we want to see. So we saw the Tacoma touch almost $40,000, right?
Yep.
So I made some notes, and when you're looking at a full-size truck like this Chevy Silverado, sometimes you got to compromise on something if you want the most affordable one. And one of the things we're compromising on is the cab. This is a two-door cab.
Yeah, absolutely. And here, I'll walk around to the other side. Now we're at Johnson Auto Plaza right now. This is one of our really big local dealers. They've got a ton of options between different trucks, a lot of trucks that are much better equipped than this. But looking inside of this very basic 1500, small screen, cloth seats, kind of everything we would expect, but a bench.
It's a bench seat, so I actually picked this on purpose. And like I said, I made some notes. And I wanted to show a couple of options. First of all, interior is pretty basic. We got a column shift. We got not a huge screen, but actually traditional gauges. And Kase, do you want to pop that hood? Do you want to do the latch?
Yeah.
The big deal here is it's a V8, dude. 5.3 liter V8. Very traditional pickup truck in that sense. And it's also a work truck version, so it's not very fancy. By the way, I surprised all the dealerships we're going to. I mean, we're friends, so I called ahead, but I didn't give them a lot of notice, which is why a lot of these trucks are not prepared or washed or, detailed or anything like that, because I wanted to see exactly, like, if you were just to get to a lot, what are your options, right? It does have some, no damped tailgate, but gigantic amount of space. And actually, GM and Chevrolet's doing a couple of interesting things. They're not offering short wheelbase, regular cab two-door trucks, at least not easily. You might be able to special order something, or if you can call General Motors and dealerships. But if you're looking at most lots throughout the country, I believe, not just Colorado, you'll find an 8-foot bed. So this is basically a work truck, but it is four-wheel drive. Let's look at the price. $47,405. It is a 10-speed automatic. It's a 2025, not a 2024. But dude, I have some extra information. Currently, it's got about $4,400 off. So you can pick this truck up for $43,000.
So similar amount of money as the Tacoma, but twice the cylinders.
Yes, but also remember that Tundra with a lot of discount, and that was a special case, right?
Yeah.
That was 44 grand. So just a little bit under that, you can pick up a proper V8 powered work truck and use it for your business. But let's keep moving.
Yeah, because we're not only looking at a full size, we also have a midsize and an HD. We'll start with the HD, which, similar to that full size, is a single cab, long bed, but it being a 2500, you're gonna have a bit more hauling capability.
Yeah, a lot more, dude. And a giant V8 engine and a heavy-duty Allison branded transmission. You could see it over there. And also a Z71 nonetheless. Check it out.
Yeah.
So it is an off-road model. I mean, the tires are pretty small, comparatively speaking, but they are kind of beefy Transforce Firestones. Here, take a look inside. Kind of a very similar organization here.
Yeah, exactly. So once again, we're gonna have a bench seat right here that you can flip up, go 3 across if you dare. We have a very simple dash layout, very small screen once again, analog gauges, that kind of thing. So pretty similar on the inside, but like we mentioned, you are going to get more capability. This one also has bedliner.
Bedliner, and look, a gooseneck package. So this is where you're getting into that big capability. Do you want to show a couple more things? For example, auxiliary switches, up to 5 here, so you can add lights, maybe a snow plow, you can add the winch, something else. Show the payload really quick, because this is very, that's kind of what differentiates a heavy duty from all the rest. 3,329 pounds on this particular model, and the towing up to about, gooseneck is about 17,370 or 14,500 for the trailer, regular conventional hitch trailer. But this has many options. Look, it has an outlet in the bed, bedliner, and it's $1,000 off the price. Let's go look at the sticker really quick.
Yeah, so if you need a little bit more capability, then this would be that, but it's also quite a bit more expensive.
Yeah, so we're in the $50,000 range, 54. Like I said, that's about $1,000 off. And of course, it depends on your region and depends on your negotiation. But this is around 53 grand, at least with a discount currently. And like we said, you can haul up to 17,000 pounds with this bad boy without breaking too much sweat. And it is a gasoline V8. It's not a diesel.
Yeah, and I gotta say, maybe I'm just a little bit stuck in the past, but 54 for as basic of an HD truck as this is, does seem like a bit of money.
It is. And I mean, that's kind of where the world is right now. But I can cheer you up with something.
Oh, can you?
Look at this.
Andre, it's basically your old truck.
Yes. So if you've been watching TFL Truck, you know that I used to own a 2023 brand new generation of the Colorado Trail Boss. And actually, they don't have a lot of Colorados here on the lot.
Yeah, no, not many.
Like just kind of in general. We have a lot of Sierras, heavy duties. There's one Canyon on the left there, the silver one. But as far as mid-size trucks are concerned, there's not very many of these. And this is a 2025. In case, do you want to jump inside? I want to show you some of the tech, because they changed quite a lot of it.
Yeah, well, one of the changes that they've made on the Colorado might partly be because of you.
Yes, I think it is in large part because of us. First of all, look,
Yeah,
it's a base Trail Boss.
Cruise control.
With cruise control.
Which yours did not have.
No.
And we talked about that several times in videos. And now they do have cruise control even on this very basic model.
Very, very basic model. And also, one thing that's maybe not so great is also no telescoping steering wheel. A lot of these trucks don't have that. This is built in Missouri. Some of the Sierras and Silverado trucks are built throughout the country. But look, this one has a full-length digital display, which I did not have. That was not an option on the Trail Boss that I bought.
Yeah, also pretty big center screen here.
And also four-wheel drive auto, like my truck. So actually in this truck, for not a lot of money, you're getting a lot of features, including 7,700 pounds of towing. Here's a sticker price, $42,045. And it is a Turbo Max, which means it's a maximum output, 310 horsepower, 430 pound-feet of torque. So that V8 we saw is a 355 horsepower engine, and that heavy-duty V8 was 401 horsepower. But this one, let me see, actually it currently doesn't have any discounts.
Yeah.
Because I think that price is already pretty attractive.
Yeah, and that's fair. For what most people probably need out of a truck, unless they're getting a work truck for business purposes, this is going to suit a lot of people better. This is not a single cab, so you could put people in the back, which is nice. It's not a massive back seat.
No,
but
and that's kind of why I sold mine.
it is usable.
Yeah.
And you still get a decent bit of towing capability and a much nicer interior.
Yeah, I'm trying to... manual seats. So a lot of the trucks we've seen, the Tacoma had manual seats, the Tundra had manual seats,
Yep.
the Silverados had manual seats, and this one does as well. So not a ton of space. So if you are, once again, if you do have a family, and if you're tall people and big people, then you should probably look at the full-size crew cab. But this is now the state of the GM world. And of course, if you own a crew cab Silverado, they have hundreds of them here.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was a lot easier to find crew cabs than it was a single cab.
They have a dually. Oh, look, an RST, Silverado EV, but that's approaching 95,000 or 100,000 bucks.
Those two are not cheap trucks.
No. All right, how about we look at some Jeeps and Rams? Kase, what is this? A Rubicon Gladiator that's affordable?
No, not at all.
Wait, what?
Because that's 64,000, Andre. So this is not going to be the inexpensive Gladiator that we're looking at. That is instead over here. It's past the Mojaves. It's the Willys. This one is a kind of bluish gray. Does have a set of Firestone Destination MT2 tires, which is out here in Colorado not going to be the best tire in the snow. But
yeah,
still,
but it looks very aggressive still.
It's a good looking tire.
Yeah.
Definitely aggressive. We have an unpainted hardtop here, so it's not body color matched. We don't have bed liner in the back. It's also not the biggest bed in the world, but also not bad for a mid-size truck because these Gladiators are on the slightly larger side as far as mid-sizers go. And one thing that I do like in these Jeeps, Andre, if you check out on the passenger side,
yeah, let me take a look.
They actually do a pretty good job, even with some of these more basic interiors. This is not the most base model of a Gladiator that you can get, but we still have a good size screen, good looking gauges.
Does that mean I cannot punch through the screen, or what does that mean?
Probably a good bet. We've got quite a few switches and dials here for climate. We've actually got heated seats, heated steering wheel.
What?
Yeah, we've got a rear locker.
And this is the most affordable one we could find, right?
Yeah,
and
well,
it's a 2025.
Affordable is relative. So 51 is the price on this.
Okay.
Sticker price. They are offering it about $3,700 off, which brings a price down to a little over 48.
Okay.
So it's far from the least expensive vehicle that we're looking at. But as far as interior options, off-road features, the fact that you can pull the roof panels and the doors off, it's got some cool features, but if we're talking cheap trucks, it's not super cheap. And
yeah,
still,
but
MSRP over 50, we still got manual seats. It's an interesting mix of features and some not so features.
But dude, I think this is probably the best option truck that we've seen on this list so far, because look, it's got a locking differential.
Yep.
It's got off-road modes, like you said. It's got the climate control system with the heated seats and heated steering wheel. It's still the same powertrain, so it's a Pentastar V6.
Yeah, so it's not the most modern powertrain. Something like that Tacoma with a turbo 4-cylinder. Even though people love the V6s, here in the mountains, they can get a little wrung out going up the highway.
Yeah.
It helps that this has the 8-speed, but it's not the most modern powertrain that you can get in any mid-sized truck.
What do we have here, my friend?
Now, Andre, we're very excited about the new HD Rams that are coming out in the next couple months.
Yeah.
But because that's imminent, that's going to happen very soon here, we're also seeing some really good deals on some of the outgoing models. So check this out. Original sticker price on this truck was $89,000, which is a ton. Now they have it at $69,000. Like, not to sound too much like a car salesperson, but that's a pretty big discount, and it's a $3,500.
Yeah, which means it has a high output Cummins. It has a 6-speed Aisin. So this is a really heavy duty setup.
Now the new trucks are going to have the new ZF 8-speed, which is going to be a big improvement among some others that are coming on the new generation trucks. But the Aisin and the high output is nice to have. Once again, pretty similar discount here. Sticker was 88, now down to 69. I got to show you this though, Andre. This kind of off-white that they do on some of these trucks, This color just speaks to me. I really love it, especially with the black grille, darkened headlights. And this was 89, it's now 70. So they've got some pretty similar discounts on some of these more highly optioned trucks. But there are some cheaper trucks on the lot, like a Hemi that also has, what, about $12,000 in discounts?
Yeah, and we saw it online at $47,000. But you know what? We showed up here, it was gone, it was sold.
Yeah, it's sold already. Now, it's also worth mentioning that we're not affiliated with these dealerships at all. They're not paying us any money. We're just interested in seeing what trucks have what kind of discounts here on the lot in real time. And we're seeing some pretty decent deals, especially because these trucks are about to get replaced.
Exactly. I want to see, though, Ram 1500. Should we see that?
Let's go find one.
So our search now has led us here. This is the new 2025 Ram 1500s. And take a look at the badging, dude.
Yeah, it says E-Torque, so this is a Pentastar.
Yeah, at first when I saw this, it reminded me of the Hemi E-Torques, right?
Right.
But the Hemi has been discontinued. Also, something interesting is happening at Ram, because the Ram 1500 Classic has been also discontinued. This is the previous generation truck. Like several months ago, they stopped building them. And which means you cannot get a two-door regular cab Ram 1500.
Yeah, so it's a four-door like this truck here, even though this one is relatively basic. We've got a very basic wheel design. We've got just the flat black standard grille and bumpers, all of that. The sticker on this is 52, which is not that's cheap.
That's difficult to believe. Let's show that. But a couple more things. They're running deals on these trucks now. And online, I don't know if you could see that. There's a tinted window.
Yeah, just barely.
It does say 3.6 liter Pentastar, 8-speed automatic, 21 mpg combined, 24 on the highway, so relatively fuel efficient pickup truck. But they're running about $8,200 off in incentives.
Yeah, which helps a lot because this truck at 52.
We have a towel.
And it comes with a towel.
So I can wipe it down.
This truck at 52 doesn't strike me as a great deal, but $8,000 off, that helps a lot.
44. Now this truck is basically like the Tundra we saw as well, right? Yeah. And yeah, I know we didn't show you a lot of like crew cab GM trucks, but they would be in a similar price range if you were to look at like work trucks with a four-door cab configuration and four-wheel drive configuration like this.
Andre, what are we doing looking at a Sierra EV?
Well, I was just, a thought came across my mind. What about electric pickup trucks? You know, are they affordable? And the answer is no, because usually when you're talking about electric, this is a first edition one Denali, which is also not affordable. It's about $97,000. And Toyota doesn't currently build or produce or sell any all-electric pickup trucks. Chevrolet and GMC do, but they're more fancy and higher priced models.
Yeah, but typically on the used market at least, you can depend on a fair amount of depreciation after a couple of years.
Yeah.
That's when they start to get a little bit more affordable.
Yeah, and by the way, over here, as we're walking past, and we will show you some Fords, and hopefully we can get below $40,000 in 1 minute. But for example, there is a more basic GMC crew cab that we're mentioning, and also a heavy duty crew cab as well. That's a dually chassis cab.
Yeah.
Pretty fun.
Yeah, so these trucks are still going to be more expensive than what we were looking at, but just a visual of some of the other cab configuration options out there.
Nice. All right, and finally we made it to a Ford dealership. This is Brighton Ford, Colorado. And once again, we're not affiliated with any of these dealerships, but the F-Series trucks are the best-selling nameplate case. And I found one F-150 right there. This is the black one. That's the most affordable right now on the lot. It's an XL work truck.
As you would expect, single cab, once again, very basic wheels. It's going to be a basic truck all around. And what are we looking at as far as price here, Andre?
Exactly. So there's a couple of things happening here. Even though this dealership and many others have a lot of brand new 2025 models, what's happening here, just like as we saw at the Toyota dealership, some of these are still 2024s that have been left over, right?
Exactly.
So for whatever reason, customers did not choose them. So if you wanna show the base or the MSRP, which is right there, $43,985. It has right now a $6,300 discount, which makes it $37,600.
Yeah, which is pretty impressive. So we've cracked the $40,000 mark. Didn't think it would be that difficult to do. If we look inside, again, very basic dash setup, although a pretty big screen here in the center.
Yeah, and I think they've started doing this in 2024, and of course with 2025 as well. Regular key still, but they started including standard screens for all models.
Yeah, so it's funny to see you actually have to use a blade style key to start it up when in the center of the dash we've got a very high-tech big screen.
And also a screen right there as well. So we have a 12-inch display for the gauge cluster, 12-inch display here, but still basic climate control, very similar to what we saw on the Tundra. USB-C ports, bench seat, four-wheel drive with no four-wheel drive auto though, and no brake controller. So once again, kind of a basic truck, but you could hook it up with an aftermarket brake controller as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, how about this? Oh, by the way, this is a 2.6 liter EcoBoost. I also found a 5 liter V8 regular cab, which people are also throwing superchargers on to make them very, very spicy. But that truck, according to my notes, was in the low $40,000 range, about 41. So between 37 and 41, 42,000, you could find a truck like this. Here it is, the newly updated Ranger from about a year ago, and this is once again a 2024 model, and we couldn't find an XL version, so this is an XLT, which is a level above the work truck and a little bit more expensive.
How much does the T cost you, Andre?
The T
over the base.
It could be several $1,000s. It depends on which model you're buying. Once again, all of the pickups we're seeing here are four-wheel drive, and this is an FX4 package. So it's got a little bit more, so it should have a locking differential. It's got these pretty beefy Goodyear Wrangler tires, which territory ATS. Actually, I haven't seen this type of tire in the Ranger before, so it may have been slightly changed. Here's the inside.
Yeah, and once again, pretty basic interior, still a good size screen like with that F-150, but also you still have to use a blade style key here. So pretty old school in that way.
Yeah, but still, did you mention the tall screen?
I did, yeah, which is pretty nice. And like the F-150, still pretty big screen in front of the driver there. Like you said, four-wheel drive. But
no four-wheel drive auto in this particular model. We do own a 2024 Ranger Raptor in that red color. By the way, that red color in the Ranger Raptor was discontinued for 2025.
Interesting.
So I think we have quite a unique and maybe even valuable truck still.
Could be.
Nonetheless, this is a crew cab. Do you want to show them the price?
Yeah, so we look through the window tint here, be able to see $44,000 is the MSRP.
But there's about $3,200 off, so it's about 41 and change.
Yeah, so it's actually more expensive than the F-150 that we were just looking at.
I know, but that F-150, it's got only 2 doors. So you can kind of have to wait, pick and choose. But you can see here, there's 40 F-150s on this side. So if you can't find the one you're looking for, you just keep walking and you'll find something interesting. But we still haven't seen 2 other trucks Ford makes.
Well, one of the ones that we have to see is this right here, an F-250 that has quite a bit of a discount on it.
Yeah.
Even though this is the 6.7 Power Stroke, so it is a diesel standard output, right?
Not a high output. If this was a high output, some of these letters would have been red, and that's how you can kind of see from the outside. But still, a lot of power, 475 horsepower, and over 1,000 pound-feet of torque in this basic work truck. And When I say basic, I mean basic.
Yeah, so we've got a bench seat up here in the front, even though this is a four-door, so you're going to be able to carry quite a few people. And this truck, unlike the other two we were looking at, actually has a pretty small screen in the center of the dash and some analog gauges as well. So in a way...
Did you hear that semi with a Jake brake?
Yeah, he's getting after it.
Yeah, but dude, I'm kind of impressed. Those Ram Cummins trucks that we saw were 3500s, and those were kind of like Laramie trims. They were pretty fancy. This is a base work truck. You could see the vinyl floor, the kind of hard vinyl seats. No bed liner, but this is still a 6 3/4 foot bed, so pretty nice bed. Of course, those Ram heavy-duty trucks are built in Mexico. This truck is built right here in the United States, and we got to look at the price because I was surprised actually.
Yeah, once again, pretty small, basic wheel. Got an air dam there under the front bumper.
And of course it's white, right? It's a work truck.
Very much of a work truck, yes. So MSRP is $66 on this, but once again, pretty big discount here.
Yeah, discount is about $5,500-ish for a advertised price of $60,800. So for just over 60 grand, I know that's a lot of money, Kase, but you're buying a crew cab
diesel four-wheel drive
FX4. So not just any four-wheel drive, it's got a little bit of off-road kit on it as well.
So you've got the bones of a really good truck here, the basic options that most people would probably want to have, the four-door diesel four-wheel drive.
With all the steps, of course, the latest design. And I think this discount is here because, once again, this is a 2024 model, right? If this was a 2025, the pricing would be a lot higher. And I tried to find a two-door, regular cab version in a gas engine. And at this particular dealership, I couldn't find one. So it just depends on which dealership you go to. Some of them have a little bit more fancy selection. Some of them have a lot more fleet trucks.
And I gotta say, at least on a personal note, this for 60 or one of those Rams that was 90, but instead is now 69.
Yeah.
I might end up going for a higher trim option, one of the Rams.
Are you tempted, especially in that white color?
A little tempted, yeah.
This is more of a basic white color.
For sure.
All right, but where's the most affordable truck of them all? Where's the Maverick?
We gotta find it.
So, Kase, we know these trucks actually pretty well because we bought a 2025 Maverick.
That's true, we've got one of our own.
Yeah, but this lineup is pretty clear because of the headlamps. These are the outgoing 2024s, and there's still several of them here. And pricing can vary. I mean, there's a Tremor edition, XLT Tremor, Lariat Tremor, there's XLTs and work trucks. I don't see any work truck Maverick, but this one right here is a hybrid front-wheel drive for $32,440. Let's see, it has a couple of options. Ford Copilot driver assistance tech, $650. XLT luxury package, including heated seats and many other features, $2,200. So these used to be almost 20 grand, right?
Yeah, they used to be just under 20 grand, but that was a while ago and the price has gone up quite a bit since.
That was a while ago, but still, we saw many trucks with huge discounts, and you might be able to find a little bit of a discount on some of these as well. But now we're going into like the low 30s with these Mavericks. But Kase, I noticed something here specifically at Ford. They don't have enough selection of Mavericks or Rangers, right?
Yeah, so it seems like the majority of their inventory are things like these F-150s that we see behind the Mavericks here, which makes sense. F-150 huge seller.
Right.
They've got quite a few HDs if we look way over there.
Right.
But not as many, to your point, Mavericks or Rangers. I didn't even notice a Ranger Raptor.
No, and I think those are very hard to find still, and that's why some dealerships are still charging a markup on some Raptors, including the Ranger Raptor. But even though these are made in Mexico, the Ranger is made in Michigan, of course. I think they should pump up the volume, right? Offer more affordable choices for all of us to check out.
Yeah, exactly, because I think that's what a lot of people want is more affordable trucks.
All right, well, thanks for joining us. I know it's been kind of a longish video, but I hope you got a wide view. We did not do a Nissan in this video. The only one I found was $50,000 Pro 4X fully optioned, so we couldn't find any base Nissan Frontiers, but we will next time. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you soon.